Good morning and welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is part of the Gauntlet community. It's a group of tabletop friends, aficionados, and fanatics who play all kinds of independent, small book, and OSR tabletop RPGs online, usually via Google Hangouts, like this one. The Star Wars Saturdays is my own little slice or corner of the Gauntlet where I play with all kinds of wonderful folks in the Star Wars worlds and galaxy. It is all set in the original trilogy of the Star Wars movies for that canon. I don't want to have an onerous level of expanded universe information, so really it's just you need to have watched the original trilogy you must be this tall to get on the ride. And I figure that's like, if you have a problem with that, why are you here? Go somewhere else. There are hundreds of games every month. And I've never had a problem. People show up with a little bit of Star Wars knowledge to a lot of Star Wars knowledge, and we all mix it together in a soup, because for every person who says that guy was cut in half, someone else will say, well, actually, that person could still be here, and shows up in this part of the canon, because it's all true. Nothing, it's like comic books. Everyone dies, everyone comes back. It's great. Star Wars Saturdays is also a living campaign where every month, and in this month is like the exception to the rule because I ran 2 games this month, but every month pick a new game. Sometimes it's games that we've run before, but it's always try to month to month switch off to different systems. Those different systems have built in different kind of approaches to the genre. Luckily, Star Wars can handle that. It's a galaxy wide, and often characters will show up in different games, but we always start fresh, or as fresh as possible, so that everyone has a chance to contribute to this anthology of wonderful Star Wars stories. This is the second of 2 games of Hutt Cartel. Hutt Cartel is a hack of a game that recently kickstarted last year from Mark Diaz Truman of Magpie Games. Cartel itself is a wonderful and gritty Powered by the Apocalypse game set to tell stories of Mexican narco fiction set in the town of Durango, sorry. And it is really sharply written with all kinds of interesting social moves. And I looked at it and said, hey, Cartel, Hutt Cartel, I can Star Warsify it. And I'm terrible that way. I do that thing. And I reached out to Mark Diaz Truman. He gave me the thumbs up. And in fact, I'm going to be running Hutt Cartel at Origins this year at Games on Demand, and I'm hoping to save a spot for Mark, because I don't think he gets to play this, like, any version of Cartel. And damn it, I'm going to let him play Hutt Cartel. Very excited about that. It's just want to brag for a moment. But let's get back to us. So this is the second of 2 sessions. In our first session, Sabine joined us, one of the star players of the Gauntlet. And Sabine's character was an assassin named Galen Fuqpaw, who was the brother of our Druglord. And at the very end of last session, Galen was sleeping with a Ratataki prostitute at a bar/brothel called the Happy Bantha. And that Ratataki declared vengeance for Kazojut, the last Druglord who was ousted violently by the sister and Druglord, by Lahali. And this Ratataki, Utima, stabbed poor Galen many, many times while he was high on wasted, or slick, high on slick, which is one of our Star Wars drugs. Thank you, Wikipedia. Because there are drug moves in this game, and they're pretty interesting. So that was our one of our 2 big, like, huge moments that ended our last session. The other one was the meeting between Z, who's kind of the chosen lieutenant of the Lahali, and Dolvoka, the Crooked ISB agent, and the 2 of them talking about Lahali being just a little too violent to continue controlling the plaza, which is this area of the underground of Coruscant, the capital planet of the Empire. So there's a lot of conspiracy going on there. So those are the 2 things. And nestled in with that is that Dolvoka and his partner arrested the cook for the Holly, Jir the Jawa. And those were the major events that we ended the last session with. Let's have everybody reintroduce your characters, just a brief sentence or so, mention the playbook that you're playing, and then we will circle back around because we have some start of session moves as well. So, Dolvoka, please introduce yourself, Alan.
Hi, I'm Alan, and I'm playing Dalvoka, the Crooked ISB agent, who is concerned that there is too much blood on the streets, and as Richard said, has tacitly agreed with the Druglords lieutenant that it would be better if she was replaced. The deal is that Dalvoka has to help Z get rid of the previous Druglord and identify a successor.
That's right, because that droid was ordered to kill Kazojut, and even though Z has a certain level of interdependence and independence, still she wishes to carry out that order. Next, we have Stephen. Stephen, please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
I'm playing Jir Cladakil, also known as Clan Kill, which is my Jawa clan. I'm playing a Jawa, and my clan was imported from Tatooine by the Hutts when they were originally part of this syndicate, and then the Hutts have been pushed off world. But my clan, of course, is stuck around. They're sort of almost indentured servants, where the Druglords keep them for their gadgets and their ability to cook. I was recruited in by the father of the previous clan lord, Joran, and I have a mobile cooking station. It's basically an old armored troop transport that's been modified and souped up to it emits noxious gases and stuff like that, but it's a really, really good cook place. And I have Dalvoka. No, I have who is my little buddy who's helping me cook?
Oh, your little buddy who's helping you cook is
Haza. So Haza is helping me cook. He really looks up to me and has been helping out quite a bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen. Last but not least, we have Walter. Walter, introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Walter, and I'm going to be playing Lil Holly. Lil Holly is the Druglord. Lil Holly is a very bad person. So we established before that this particular plaza was known as the Pit. It's a bad part of a bad level in Coruscant. And when Lil Holly took over, it became known as the Killing Pit because Lil Holly uses very violent methods. So Lil Holly brought in her brother, Galen Fukpa, who had been an enforcer previously. Lil Holly brought him in, as part of the takeover, brought him back into the business, and he just died at the end of last session, Sabine's character. And Lil Holly's not happy about that. Lil Holly is so that's what we're picking up. The Druglord is very unhappy that her brother was killed. We'll see more of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that intro. Let's go ahead and circle around to beginning of session moves. So our Druglord and Crooked ISB agent both have them. Let's start off with our Crooked ISB agent. You have a move called Infiltration.
Yes, this allows me to determine if there's anything going on that might be of interest. So my grit is 0, so I roll +0, and that gets 10. Gee whiz. And on a 10, you get wind of an investigation before things get messy. On a 10+, you're positioned to take advantage of the situation. You have access to vital evidence, witnesses, or police personnel. My choice. I think. Rich, do you want to define that, or do you want me to?
If you have an idea, we can spin off of that. Otherwise, I have ideas as well. So, what you got?
No, you'll have a better one than me. I was going to go too small. Go big.
Oh, wow. Okay, big. All right. So, I think the investigation that I hear about is, well, the investigation I had in mind was at the Happy Bantha, there was a murder of Galen Football. Because it just circles so tight in. Since we're 2 sessions, I was going to go there. What did you have any?
I was thinking about Jeer and being in jail, but I think the Happy Bantha is.
Oh yeah, you already know that one. You arrested that one. You don't have to roll for that. You got that, bro. That is totally cool with me. Awesome. Good. So that's the thing you hear about is, hey, there's this thing, and yeah, that you know what's going to happen, right? It's not going to go well.
Is it possible for me to be first on the scene?
Yes, absolutely. You're first on the scene. You're 100% first on the scene, and I think based off of that, I'm glad we rolled you first. To me, that communicates that maybe at the beginning of the session, Lahali doesn't know Galen has been murdered yet, because you might have to tell her. All right, so Lahali, you have a move called the Plaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yes, my move to Plaza is at the beginning of the session. Roll with control. On a hit, you get an opportunity to engage one of your troubles, your choice, on your terms. On a 7 to 9, the opportunity is short-lived and risky. Act quickly, or you may find that you missed your moment. On a miss, one or more of your troubles catches you in a vulnerable spot. Druglord before you can adjust. Now, by troubles, is that something that I define, or is that like related to a particular?
In your Plaza, I think your troubles were Coruscant security.
That's right, and right, and then also that the previous Druglord, Sojut, is still on the loose. Those are my 2 troubles. All right, which they both seem to be active already. So let's see if I can get
Sorry.
Although they could get worse. Although one of them just killed my brother. So we'll see. This could go downhill fast, which is great because we've only got this last session. So
that's right. It's all on the table, my friends.
Yeah,
Not all of these characters are going to walk out of this game alive.
Oh yeah, I count on it. That's what I'm hoping for. All right.
Sabine kicked us down the hill. I love it. I love it.
So I'm gonna roll. Should I state which of my troubles I want to engage with first?
No, it's cool. We can do it after the fact.
Okay. So.
Wow, that is a nice roll.
Oh, it is. All right. That makes up for last time I had some not as great rolls. I recall.
Cool. On a hit, you get an opportunity to engage one of your troubles. On okay, so it does. I don't think there's a benefit for 10+, is there? Right? It's just that on 7 to 9, it's short-lived and risky. On a miss, that means one of them has you in a vulnerable spot. So you've got an opportunity to engage one of your troubles. What would you like to engage?
Okay, so all right. I had in mind that it felt to me like at the end of last session that Lil Holly was actually at the brothel when her brother got murdered, but it sounded like you wanted me to not know. So I guess I'm fine either way.
Okay.
Let's see, because I was thinking like I would start off the session on a rampage and just be like, I am going to take vengeance on my brother, or the killer of my brother.
Okay. So let's try to. That's really interesting, Alan.
I feel like anything else I would choose, like once I find out my brother is killed,
everything changes, right? It validates the role because you'll drop everything else to go there. Okay.
We can work with this. I can. You can know this. It's just I'm first on the scene. I may end up investigating the rampage.
I like that. If I may, I actually have a good idea for an opening scene.
Okay.
Which is so I want to find Gazojut because I want his head more than anything right now. I'm really mad. And I know that Gazojut's father, Joran, hired Jir. And so I might want to shake down Dalvoka and be like, give me Jir, because Jir's going to sing for me. And that might be, and we might have that conversation over Galen's dead body, actually. Something like that. How do you think of that for an opening scene?
It's pretty
Actually,
interesting.
Joran is your father.
Joran is my father?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, all right. Too many NPCs.
Yeah, I was about to kind of circle back and say, it's Joran Fuqua, who is retired and out of the game. He thinks Holly is doing great, is not aware she's a drug lord, and he is a former cook who taught Jir all that Jir knows, and the father of Galen. So
wait, oh, Joran, my father, was a former cook?
Yes, he was a former cook.
Okay. I missed that last time. All right, then. All right. Okay, then in that case, then all right, then never mind about that. Then I need to
Well,
right.
let me throw this out. I would like to very soon, if not lead off, with some stuff around Jir, because I feel like Steven had to kind of sit out for the last third of the game because I had, on a failed roll, I had his character stunned. So
yeah. How about I just take like a hold on that opening move, and I'll like mention it next time I want to do something against one of my troubles.
This sounds really good to me. If you're okay with it, if that feels like a good result for your good roll, then I'm okay with it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So you're first on scene, Dolvoka, but we're not going to open with you. We're going to open with Jir in holding. So, Jir, when were you last in holding at Corsec on level 1313?
I was last here to get a clan member out. We get picked up from time to time by the local authorities, and for borrowing things that we shouldn't be borrowing. And I was here actually to bail out someone who was picked up who didn't do anything wrong, of course. And so I was here on the other side of the glass.
Nice. Have you ever been picked up, or have you always been the smart one who doesn't?
Yeah, I've always been sneaky and smart where, I haven't been picked up and I've always taken care of the clan. Yeah.
Oh, man. Cool. So, do you think maybe it was Iris that you came to pick up before?
Yeah, I think it was.
Cool. So here you are. The last time you were here was to pick up Iris, and it's the Empire, right? They do these occasional just go through with Corsec and troopers, round up a bunch of people and throw them into a holding tank. So you are currently in a 20 by 20 room with a number of bunks that are lined against the wall. One lavatory that's maybe a little too high for you to easily get on to relieve yourself, and there are a number of tough customers who are here. Are there any members of the Holly's cartel who are currently here that you know? Or are you all alone?
I think there's actually like a low level grunt, somebody who this guy got caught fighting. Let's say he's actually like a rodent, and he just had a temper in a bar, but he's someone I recognize from the cartel. He's helped escort drugs before. So
awesome. So we're gonna say that this guy's name is Snert Witty. I'm going to throw that into our NPCs and places. He's way down, sorry, unfortunately, but he's on line 22. And this is the, so he's a thug for Lil Holly. Cartel. Picked up. Snert's here, and does he recognize you, or you just know him?
I just know him. I think that he's kind of sizing up everyone else in the in the lockup, and I'm not noticeable because I'm, a tiny little Jawa thing. So he's like, looking for danger or someone to pick a fight with first.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think he ends up rolling up on Lisk, a Trandoshan, or Trandoshan. I always pronounce that wrong. And he is jawing. And Lisk, you know Lisk is a female, but you don't think the Snurt's aware of that. So the two of them start jawing at each other, and as they are bragging and staring at each other, you hear you see someone move over and they sit down near you, like on one of the bunks. It's a Weequay. You're a Jawa, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Reaches over and he kind of pats at your
back
hood.
up. Yeah.
No, don't go, little one. I've never seen one of you before. My cousin's always talked about all the Jawa on Tatooine. What do you look like under that hood?
And I say, so basically, Jawas are, normally on Tatooine, cover themselves with the hood. They never bathe, that kind of stuff. So I make sure that this guy, as he's saying something, and I kind of straighten up and lean forward, so he gets a really good whiff. Okay, and I tell him, it's something even we don't like to see. It's, not very impressive to others, but there's layers and layers that would take forever to get off, and it's not worth it. So all of this time I'm trying to do my best to project smell and stink and bad breath and all of that.
Awesome. I think you're trying to pressure him to go along with you with the idea of like, don't mess with me. This isn't worth your trouble. Stupid Weequay, blah, blah, blah. So when you pressure someone to go along with you, roll with hustle.
Okay.
On a hit, they see your point and they have to follow your lead for now.
I rolled a 7. What is my hustle?
So
I got an 8.
Nice. Okay, cool. So on a 7 to 9, you let something important slip as you bring your pressure to bear. Oh, that's interesting. What do you think you let slip? Maybe anything along being a cook or a Lohali or anything along those lines?
Yeah, so I think it's actually along with that smell that I'm trying to project so much, there's a chemical whiff that comes along with that. So it's, he can smell that there's some, maybe it's medically or chemically, there's some kind of, some kind of
solvent or some kind of bleach or something like that. He catches a whiff of that. The Weequay moves away. Says, "Okay, little one. He's fine. He stands up from the bunk and walks away from you and heads over to talk to another, like a Ratataki that's leaning up against the bars, because it's the Empire and it's a lower cost to just have metal bars than it is to have some kind of force shield. So they're leaning against that. And we'll cut away from you for just a minute, but the last thing that we see is that the Rodian has now punched the Trandoshan. And the two of them are getting into a bit of a scrap, which some troopers or some Coruscant are coming to kind of separate them. Cool. So now we pick up with just outside the Happy Bantha. I think that it's in basic, right? But we see the Bantha. There's like a neon Bantha there with like the fur and the tusks and everything, and a couple of the bits of the neon just they don't glimmer at the same level of green as the others. And if you actually look, I imagine that the Happy Bantha looks a good bit like the picture that we have on our Roll for Your Party, because why not? Except now there is a nice speeder bike in front. Do you have your partner with you, or did she stay behind, Dol?
I'm assuming that she's doing the paperwork on Gia.
There we go.
Because it was her arrest.
Yeah, no, it is. It's totally her arrest. So you're
that was Enmai, the do good ISB agent.
Yes, the do good. Yeah, the girl from the surface who thinks this is a great job and now is doing paperwork. Cool. So you are here. You got the lead on somebody from Happy Bantha calling in the murder.
Okay, so
and we'll say that
just so
you see that Lil Holly is here. I think they're trying to run the Happy Bantha is maybe trying to run interference, and if anything, they've called the Coruscant because they're like, "Oh God, she's going to kill all of us." So,
yes, I think that's entirely likely. So I sidle up to the room or to the back of the building where the rooms are, and there presumably there's no sign of Eterna, who was the
oh no, she's gotten out.
She's long gone.
Yeah, she's Kazuchi's cousin. This was an opportunity, and then she fled before anyone discovered Galen's body.
Okay, then I think that what I'm going to do is to prevail upon the management of the Happy Bantha to dispose of Galen's body before anybody knows about it.
Cool. Now, Lil Holly, how have you just found out about Galen's murder? Right? Because you made your role as part of the thing. So while Dolvocus got a heads up versus Coruscant and ISB, you run your plaza, and somebody from the Happy Bantha ratted out Utima to tell you what happened with Galen, thinking they can get a little something on the side, or maybe you just have eyes there. How have you found out about this?
Yeah, so I think I was nearby. There was at the end of last session, I could tell that Galen was really upset, and Galen was going to the Happy Bantha to relieve some stress, do some slick, and I had actually met Galen in one of the rooms of the Happy Bantha and was like, hey, careful, I can't afford to lose you on a slick binge. And then, Galen was like, I'm going to be all right. And I might have actually even seen Galen walk off with Atima. And then I was like, all right, and I took off at that point. So I think I was close by when it happened. It's possible that someone found me actually, like, maybe I was talking to somebody in the back of a divey bar nearby, and someone knew I was there. One of my informants, and came and got me. So I might be really close on the scene myself.
Awesome. So let's say that, yeah, you're within view. You see the speeder bike come up. You're in this area. You've been pressing for what's going on, like trying to keep a tab on Galen. And that's when female Duro, who works at the Happy Bantha, kind of sneaks across, comes in, sits down at the table next to you, and says, listen, I've got some bad information. I'm letting you know because I'm loyal. Okay? I want you to know I'm loyal.
Yeah. All right, Doro. What is it? You can tell me. I look after I look after people who are good to me.
Cool. And her name is Hula Trehu?
Hula Trehu?
Hula. Yeah, I'm going to throw her into the NPCs underneath Lisk, the Trandoshan.
Okay.
She says, I don't think I've spelled that right. I don't care. What's going on? She reaches across and puts her hand, like, she's a touchy-feely. So the Duros, they have the long kind of gray alien heads, but otherwise humanoid appearance, light green skin. And she reaches over and touches your forearm and says, the girl that Galen was with, she killed him.
What? What? Nobody can kill Galen. What are you talking about? What is this? Where is he? Take me to him. What are you talking about?
There's ISB here already. They're going to
What?
lock everything down.
No. 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 Oh, was it that Tataki Atema that he went off with? Who did this? What happened?
Yes, it was Utima. I think she is friends with Kazojut. I heard her in the other room. She was screaming, "This for Kazojut." And then when I went in, I saw her, and I came to you to tell you.
You did well. You did well. What is she wearing?
I'll say that she's wearing like some kind of halter top and kind of a glowy skirt of some kind. She's dressed like a prostitute. She's dressed very alluringly and also kind of glitzy and glam.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of rings.
So, all right. Trying to decide how I want to handle this. I want to go find Galen's body, and I'm going to take a risk. I think I even have a key called "Get Your Hands Dirty" when you do something yourself.
So I wanted to actually invite you to talk about
tackle a messy problem,
because I'm thinking, and I just want to off. This is an offer; it's not a command.
Yeah,
I think this is the perfect time for you to basically clear the family key.
Through this key, when you allow, let's see, so clear when you allow one of them to be hurt or harmed when you could have intervened.
Because you let Galen go off.
Yeah.
With someone, you could have just said, no, we'll get you the stuff, and you let him go off, and now he's dead, and you could pick up paranoia, because that turn feels pretty good to me, but it's up to
absolutely. Oh yeah, that sounds perfect.
Awesome.
Given the short sessions, yeah. All right, let's do that. So how does that? So then I get an advance when I go up.
You can mark an advance.
What do the advances look like though?
They
I'm not
start.
Sure.
I've got them
here
listed.
they are. There's a list.
Yeah,
okay.
Row 60.
Okay. So
on the character keeper, I've got them listed. So there's some advancements, some new plaza options, moves from other playbooks.
Moves from other playbooks. I don't know the other playbooks well enough to know any good ones.
There's a
but
bunch.
Also just take a yeah. All right. If you have a suggestion for one you think might be interesting, let me know. But I will. Okay. Well, I'll take a moment to think about that. But yeah, I should pick one soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'll take the advance. Move to paranoia. Thanks for clicking that already. Which is that paranoia is mark XP when you try to get the truth out of someone and their true loyalties.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, interesting.
That's why when I looked at those two, I'm like, oh my God, I have to suggest this. This is so perfect.
All right. Okay. So, now I see the speeder bike.
Yeah.
Do I recognize that speeder bike? I think we established that maybe I only know Kalvoka indirectly. Dalvoka only communicates through Z with me normally. So I might. Is it possible that I don't even recognize Dalvoka? What do you think? What do you think, Alan?
I think it's always interesting when people don't know one another.
Okay.
It allows stuff to go on that otherwise, your eyes meet across a crowded bar.
But the Duros female Hula, she said that's ISB right there. Like she'll point out the speeder bike.
Yeah. So as far as I know, it's like a legit ISB agent. It's not the ISB agent who's
in your pocket
on the inside of mine. Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting. That could make for an interesting scene. I feel torn. I feel like normally Lahali would not want to directly confront ISB, but I feel like in this situation, and Lahali feeling like we're deep in the killing pit, this is my territory, and my brother just got killed, I think Lahali's just gonna like walk across the street back into Happy Bantha, right past the ISB speeder bike and just be like, bring it. I'll fucking kill an ISB agent right now. I'm so mad.
Sauce. Sweet. So you start to come into the Happy Bantha. I'm going to say a species name, but I'll show you a picture so you guys know what I mean when I say this species name. Their security is one being. It is what's called a Herglick. And I'll show you why there's just one of them. A Herglick is imagine a bipedal orca. They're big. They're like 7 feet tall. Hold on. I'm trying to find my picture. I have a cool picture of a Herglick, but I have to go through the... By the way, the Star Wars role-playing game Re-Up ebook edition, greatest thing ever. Totally love that thing. All right. So universe section...
And excuse my French earlier. Apparently, I should have said carking. That's
right.
That's the word in this world.
That is a Herglick.
Whoa! Nice.
Yeah. So you come in with this Herglick kind of steps in. Maybe he knows. Maybe his boss said, who's a Toydarian. Toydarians are the like really short, like Watto from Tatooine in the prequels, the little wings that make them fly. Who knows how? Physics, bumblebees, doesn't matter. But the Toydarian told this Herglick, like, okay, that's the drug lord. Go talk to her. So he steps out and he kind of leans down. Got a problem, Blue Holly? Need help?
Don't fuck with me. Don't cark with me. I'll get it right for the end.
It's okay. It's all good, man. I love it. I love it.
Don't cark with me. I know my brother's in here, and I want to see him right now.
All right. So I think right now you are trying to push your luck, right? You're trying to intimidate this guy.
Is it you know, I might be trying to pressure.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get that.
Because he must know who I am. Or this creature, Herglick.
Okay, but let me tell you that your hustle is worse than your grit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, all right. These are things I haven't looked at.
It's all good. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help.
Let's see.
You can also size someone up.
I mean, if you propose a deal is something I am good at. Oh yeah, okay, I can size someone up.
Yeah, so you can propose a deal. You can say, "Listen, I'll make a deal with you. That sounds awesome." You can also roll with savagery to size him up, and then ask the question of how do I get you to back off and let me see my brother. You got lots of options. It's all around what approach you want to take.
Okay, and I have a +1 on that advance. I could spend somewhere at this point as well.
That's true.
Okay, cool. So. Yeah, I'm gonna, given the session and then I'm going on a rampage, I'm gonna spend my advance on savagery. So I'm gonna bring that up to 2, and then yeah, I like that idea of doing the size someone up, size someone up. Let's start with that.
Roll with savagery.
All right, cool. And I think I basically want to know like what kind of deal I might be able to post for him, but we'll see what happens here. All right. So savagery +2. Ooh, that's 14.
Holy cats and kittens, that is amazing. On a 10+, you can ask 3 questions.
All right. So my choices are: what are your current weaknesses, strengths? How can I show you dominance, submission? What do you intend to do next? What do you wish I'd do right now? And how could I get you to? So I'm going to say that I'm going to roll this into make a deal move. And I want to ask, how can I get this Herglick to basically come work for me now? I feel like if what I heard is true, the Happy Bantha is mine now, and I'm just going to take this place over. And I'm going to start by getting the muscle here to be my muscle, and then I'll inform the management that there's new management with them at my back. What would I have to do to get Herglick to help me with that?
See, Herglick is a simple transaction. This Herglick is named Broxton, and he is a simple transactional kind of fellow. He's also not super smart. So you all offer him more credits than he gets in the Toydarian right now, and he will flip. It is no... he's... you know,
right. And am I even going to have to strain my finances for that, or is he cheap by my standards?
He's cheap by your standards.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I basically like take my Rolex off essentially and give it to him, you know, something of that sort, and just be like, you know who I am. You know I'm good for it. I'm the new management here. Follow me.
He kind of turns his big, huge head around and looks at the Toydarian and says, and then he'll stomp and lead you back to the thing. So let's see, Dalvoka, where are you at? You hear this commotion going on. Are you in the room right now, or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in the room. I've identified the victim. I'm pretty confident that it was the woman that he was with, so that won't be difficult to find. And then I hear the commotion, I think.
Yeah. Right.
And go out to the front and flash the badge. ISB, let's calm it down.
The Herglick will, like, he puts his hands up to show he doesn't have any weapons, but he glances over his shoulder. You see feet behind him, right? Because he's got a big, broad stance, but you don't see who's behind him. And he'll murmur, ISB.
So Lahali's right there, right? You're flashing the badge at the
Herglick,
Broxton,
who's Broxton's interposed himself and is just waiting for your order, or he will step out of the way if you want to jaw at the ISB agent.
Yeah. I definitely just move the Herglick to the side.
He does, no problem.
And I step right up to your face, and I just walk right past the badge, and you can feel my warm breath on your face, Dalvoka, as I say,
draw the gun.
Where is my brother?
Draw the gun. As she approaches, draw the gun. She doesn't get close.
Oh, you draw the gun?
Yep. Miss Folklore, don't do anything silly.
I'm gonna say that she continues to approach.
That's awesome. Okay.
She doesn't even go for her gun. You can tell she has a gun, but she doesn't even reach for it.
I think I'm trying to pressure someone.
All
right. Let's see you do it. So when you pressure someone to go along with you, roll with hustle.
I roll plus hustle, which is my ballpark, which will get me to 8. On a 7 to 9, you let something slip as you bring your pressure to bear. And what I let slip is, my name's Dalvoka, and my strong advice is that you calm down, Miss Folklore.
Okay. Now, how does pressure someone work?
You see my point.
NPCs, is there anything?
For a PC, all you have to do, if you can ignore it. So for a PC, you can ignore it, but you have to mark stress to do that.
Okay.
It's effectively like you're taking psychic harm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So stress. That makes sense. Stress is the currency here.
Yep.
All right. Interesting. Okay. So then I will. All right. So Lil Holly will pause and say, Dalvoka. Like she's pondering, heard that name before, and say, put away your gun and take me to my brother.
You understand, Miss Football, I'm a member of the ISB. This is a crime scene. A crime scene that can make significant difficulties.
Yes. And I hope you understand that I'm not going to leave here without seeing my brother. So you can make things easier for everyone if you take me to him.
I have to know you won't interfere with the crime scene.
I can't promise anything until I see my brother. But
then you go no further, Miss Football.
I will say this, Dalvoka. If you show me my brother and let me examine what is happening here, then I will do what I can to aid your investigation. I'm as concerned with anyone as finding out what happened to my brother and taking vengeance.
Of course you are. And normal channels will provide that information to you. If I give you access to this crime scene at this point, that will make difficulties not only for you, but for me.
All right. Maybe I want to cite...
You want to propose a deal here?
Yeah. I feel like we're having trouble establishing what the deal is. So now I know. So at this point, I've
offered you a deal
by name.
Yeah, I've offered you a deal.
Yeah.
The deal is you can see your brother, but you do not disturb the crime scene.
All right.
That's true. I think that was the first deal offer. So let's have you do that. Roll with face, Dalvoka.
Snake eyes.
All right. So all of your pushback
has
totally been appropriate because you failed at your deal. Cool. So yeah, I get a move. Yeah, I think this, you realize how hard this is, and I'm just glancing over my moves because I had a first instinct, but I wanted to see if there's anything better. Yeah, I think I'm going to inflict some stress on you. So I'll give you this last session. So I'm going to give you 2 stress. I'm just terrible that way. And so you mark that stress. The offer that Dalvoka pushes on you, Lohali, you're not sure if he can stand up to it, stand by it. You're just a few meters away from that door. There's just Dalvoka in your way. Forgiveness versus permission is totally up to you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think I basically am going along with Dalvoka's arrangement. I think maybe we're just like missing each other's as far as words. Like I think I want to make clear that I'm Lil Holly wants to make clear that she's going to take control of dealing with whatever happened here, but that Lil Holly is like, okay, Dalvoka's on my side. Like he can help me. I can help Dalvoka help me by writing a good investigation report, right? So and not getting in his way in that way. So in that sense, I think I would maybe propose that as a counter deal. I would see that as a slight variation on what Dalvoka is suggested.
No, I don't need mechanically for this. My deal failed miserably. You breeze past him, and in terms of what you do on that crime scene is now up to you.
I kind of dig that. We just move in,
Okay.
right? He's trying to hedge bets here, and you're not having that. Your brother's right there. You got to see him, and you probably aren't going to disturb the crime scene anyway. You move in, you see Galen's body, you see that he was stabbed 13 times in the face, in the chest. It also looks like a certain body part was removed.
Oh, damn. All right.
Post
so
mortem.
Pissed. And
blood everywhere.
I turn to the madam, who I now, in my mind, the Toydarian works for me. I turn to the madam, and I'm like, "This was Atima, wasn't it?"
Yes, and I fired her. She'll never work here again.
Where can I find her?
There's a small set of flats, and she will write down like a little bit of information on the apartments where the Ratataki often reside in 1313.
Okay. I'm just realizing that the Druglords horrible at getting the truth out of people. -1 also. That's funny.
Well, you have people for that. And so
all right. Okay. Yeah.
You just say, what are your enforcers? Like, who needs the truth when you have a bunch of enforcers? You make the truth.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. I need to. Yeah. Good point. All right. I need to play the right moves. Okay. So I'll take the information. I will. So I think there's like some something on Galen, you know, in his possessions that I want to take with me. I probably like take some like ring off his finger or something that has like some meaning like to me. Like and then
crest or something. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And I think I probably like glance up at Dalvoka while I, you know, remove a bag of slick out of Galen's like, you know, pants pocket, you know, just to make sure that Galen's like fine. And then, you know, and then I'm like, all right, do your work. And I say to Dalvoka, and I leave.
You guys mind if we cut away from there? That's a nice quiet moment. Herglick kind of ambling outside in the hallway, nervous about what's going on, wondering if he gets a 401k, other things that are unspoken. And then you leave, going off to wreak bloody vengeance, leaving the ISB agent to file whatever report he wants. And that's what we cut to. The first thing we see is a Trandoshan fist smacking a Rhodian right in the side of the face. And your Rhodian buddy, only contact that you know, gets thrown against a wall, and the Trandoshan reaches and grabs him by the neck. And as you're standing there, and again, just in case using a lot of you pronouns, Jir, this is all happening in the holding cell. As this fight breaks out between the Trandoshan and the Rhodian, you see there are a number of Coruscant, no troopers, just Coruscant. There are 3 of them that are hustling in with little stun batons, and they're about to open up the bar gate, the prison door, to come in and break this up by stunning both parties and pulling them apart. What do you do?
So what are the chances that I could slip out the door whenever they come in?
Terrible.
Okay. What are the chances that I can be nearby where the hustle is, stay out of the way of the fight, but whenever they go to stun people, make sure that they stun the Trandoshan and not the Rhodian? Meaning grabbing the stun sticks and guiding them towards the...
Awesome. They're both actions. Trying to sneak out and to save your Rhodian buddy are both terrible ideas, and I love them both.
I think I'm going to try and sneak out then. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yes.
So basically, I'm going to let this whole hustle happen. They come running in. I'm going to stand next to the bar, next to the gates. And as they run in, I'm going to slip out.
Sweet. So one Coruscant guy, big burly guy, is wearing a little bit of like plated armor. like medieval, but like Kevlar vesty type deal with some padding and stuff on it. He comes in and he starts trying to stun those two guys, and another one has a rifle. He comes up and the weak gets right in his face, and he puts the little carbine right up and goes, give me a reason. And that's when you try to sneak in right past that little Coruscant guy and diddy bop your little way out. I think you are trying to push your luck here.
Okay. I rolled a 4.
Oh,
so I don't think there's anything I can do with that. Yeah.
No, there's nothing you can do with that. All right, so you start to sneak past, and there's just something you do where the middle guy, the one who didn't have the stun batons, didn't have the carbine, notices you, but he's in the holding cell. He goes, hey! And the guy with the carbine turns to try to fire at you, and that's when the weak weight jumps on top of him and tries to drag him to the ground. Several shots come from the blaster carbine as you're running down the hall, and you get Karking shot right as you hit that doorway. So when you get Karking shot, let us walk through the keys, my friend, because boy, do I like it. There are a few questions, and I will find it in just a second. Sorry, it's in the playbook, so I have to spin around. Looking at a lot.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Add 1 for each. Is a handgun or other small weapon? It is not. It's a blaster carbine. The shooter is an amateur, isn't trying to kill you. I will say he's not. No, he's trying to kill you. Okay. On a hit, you'll live. You have cover, body armor, or bodyguard. I want to say you have cover in the he's being knocked to the ground. He's not taking good, solid aim.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a +1. So roll 2d6 +1.
I got a 10.
Nice! On a hit, you'll live. On a 10+, it's a minor but heroic wound.
Mm-hmm.
Where does he hit you?
Oh, I think he hits me in the like in the side, and like in the back, and it spins me, and I go down, and they think, okay, that one's taken care of, but it just kind of left a burning hole, and I hop back up and scoot around the corner.
Nice. So yeah, so he's like, oh, cool, and then he turns back around, and they deal with you here, as they stun a couple more guys, and the sounds of them like wailing on them with a baton even after they get KO'd, and you crawl away and run off. So I am still I'm going to say that you end up getting a stress from all of that.
Yeah,
I think that seems appropriate. But you end up crawling and then running your way out of Coruscant. Your name's been taken, your ident. You're going to have to rely upon someone else to get you someplace to hide. What do you do once you're out, Jir?
Yeah, I might be stretching, taking a little bit of more narrative thing, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call Haza, right? And make sure that the clan's okay and make sure everything's fine. And I'd like to say that Haza maybe has a deal for me, that he's been contacted from someone. He's been contacted by what's her name? Lita? Atima. Okay. Right? In order to there's basically some shit's hitting the fan, and he's offering, they're offering me a great deal of money in order to go down on the previous owner's side. So
Kazojut has kind of reached out to Haza and offered you an opportunity to flip.
Right.
Cool. So here's what Haza says as you call me.
I think the negotiation is going on through Atima.
Sounds good. Oh yeah. Wow, this Atima girl, boy, she's just gotten leveled up. I love you guys in Atima. This is awesome. It's the cool, like it's the nose ring chain. It's that's what makes her so badass. I just know it. I picked the right picture for this girl to level up. So Haza says, "It's not good, cousin. Not good at all. Not good. Galen killed everyone. The Kill Clan, we are in so bad shape. But there is something. Atima was cousins with Kazojut. Kazojut needs a cook. We should flip. Atima says that if we come to him now, he will spare us from his bloody vengeance. He's taking the plaza back.
But Salhaza, we must meet right away. And make sure that the clan is not impacted more. However, there's another problem, which is I'm now wanted, and it will cost a lot of cred in order to get me off the, out of this. So that's going to be an additional price to someone.
Yes, of course. But you're the best cook. So I will tell them. I will tell Atima this. You are the best cook. We have to have you.
So we should meet with Atima.
Yes, I will meet with Atima. You should hide.
We should meet with Atima.
Ooh, sounds like you're trying to take control of the situation when he's just trying to hold it to himself, huh?
Awesome.
Okay, cool. So it seems like you're trying to pressure him to go along with you here.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
right.
roll with hustle.
Okay. Ooh, 12.
Awesome. So on a hit, they see your point. They have to follow your lead for now or mark stress. He's not going to mark stress because he's an NPC. And so Haza says, of course, cousin. Of course. I will. Yes. I am already going to meet with her. You will come? I have a time. I have a place. It's very soon. Can you get there?
Yes.
He gives you the name of a small gambling den that is nearby.
Okay.
Cool. You're still hurting, of course. Yeah. Not that the rules say you get worse, but is that something you're going to try to get treated before you go, or are you just leaving it be for now?
I'm just leaving it be. There's nothing I can do. I mean, it's more important. My wound doesn't matter as much as making sure that obviously the Footpaws have already flipped on us, right? They went in and they killed a bunch of the clan members. And, I saw some of this happen. I know the cops are after us. I have to make sure that someone's protecting the clan. And it doesn't matter if I'm wounded or not. I'm just going to go talk to Atima.
Oh, you are so heroic. I really admire that. I do. Awesome. So you end up going to Fakbar's is the gambling den that she has. Atima is meeting with Haza. It is a Gundark fighting arena. Gundarks are like these Star Wars-y, like big quadrupeds, like a dog and a panther mix kind of deal, and they're all really, really dark, hence Gundark. Because in Star Wars, we name things Gundarks. Yeah.
Do you want to run that scene now, or do you want me to make a couple of calls?
I think a couple calls would be good. Are you okay with that, Steven, if we jump back?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So just to let you know, I was trying to set things up so whenever shit hits the fan, everybody's there. Right?
Ooh,
so
nice.
Whenever Lahali tracks down Atima or something like that, I'm expecting for this to be in the middle of the meeting or something like that.
God, this sounds so good.
Don't you just love it when great minds think alike? Call 1 to Z. Z, Lilhali's going to kill a load of people. You need to get to her before she does. The address I've got is for Atima, so I give her the same address that I gave that Lilhali got. Call 2 to where's she gone? Anmai, forget the paperwork on the Jawa. It's unimportant. Instead, get some credit for yourself and call a 911. You'll need a full tactical corpsec team. You can even drop the word to Tanis if you want to, and give them the same address that I've given to to Z. And the third one is to my guys Crix and Garrow, who run the tech backup and surveillance for the task force. I want them on scene here. This is my case. So they need to send me a report on the forensics once they've done it.
Okay, so Crix and Garrow are coming down to pick up the Galen investigation. Anmai and possibly Tanis and Miri are headed to Fakbar's Gundark fighting arena.
With a full tactical squad.
With a full tac squad. And also Z is headed that way because the Holly knows and is going that way as well.
I think that my assumption is that Lil Halley will track down a teamer, whether she goes straight to the dive or goes via the flat that I think the madam gave her. I need what I'm seeking to engineer is a huge kill zone, really.
God, this sounds so
that will just clear things.
Yeah, I'm totally digging this. Actually, I'm imagining a scene, maybe not right away, but eventually, where Lil Holly is like, I'm just seeing Lil Holly like walking down the street, you know, maybe toward Bakbar's fighting arena, with like flanked by you know, like her enforcers in their black body armor, right, and kind of like that like slow-mo kind of like, you know, scene, and you know, like the tac squad off there, and I'm imagining some like amazing standoff. I think that's what I'm having in mind.
That sounds awesome.
If it's okay with you, Rich, I think that I willingly entered a dangerous situation without precautions or deception when I confronted Lil Halley. So I'd like to mark experience, if that's okay.
Please do. That's perfectly. Let's do a quick check of if there are any other.
I think clear this key, Faith, and advance when you set a trap for someone who trusts you, because that would be Z, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I can't believe you did that to Z. Sounds good.
Okay, I'll think about advance.
You kind of did schemes just now. Let's see. And what we're going to do is going to do a quick review of keys. Then we're going to take a break, and we're going to pick back up with God only knows if this ends up being the last scene of the game, because it's going to be amazing. Let's see. Secrets and debt for Jeer. I think we're about to get to debt. I feel like that's where you're headed.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like you lied close to you. That's the one, because you definitely lied to the weak way.
But yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think I've hit secrets.
Okay, I think you were close. I think if the weak way was somebody that you knew, or if you've been talking to the Rhodian, maybe we could hit that. Okay, dirty hands. You're personally tackling a messy problem instead right now. That sounds like a thing that you just did with dirty hands, with like forcing your way in and ignoring the ISB agent.
Yeah, and I think again, like going, you know, leading my troops into Fakbars on my own. I think that's, again, are these? My understanding is advancements come pretty fast, and you can mark XP for this like in once per scene if you keep hitting a key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else that we need to resolve before we take a break? So I want to make sure it's all on the table.
I would like to review something. I do.
Yeah.
I don't entirely remember. My memory is failing me. I do remember. So Galen, like there was a scene where Galen was destroying Jawas down in the sewers. Is that right? And what was the motive for that then? I can't remember what exactly transpired in the very beginning of last session where Galen was after
Iris,
the Jawas.
Iris was a cousin of the Jawa clan who's an informant for the ISB, and you found out about it.
Okay.
And Galen went to take Iris out.
Nice.
that jive with what everybody else's memory was of the reasoning?
Yeah, and as I recall, there were some other Jawa who saw what had happened. I don't think that Galen took Iris out. I think Iris escaped, but there were other Jawa that saw him coming down. No, he did kill her.
Yeah,
he did kill her. And then, but other Jawa saw, and he took them out as well.
Yes, he massacred like I think 6 or 7 Kill Clan. So Kill Clan's in rough straits right now because they all stood up for Iris, and Iris got them killed along with herself.
Nice. And I think and I think Galen's weapons, like whatever was it a machete that Galen used?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Lalani had to grab his machete as well. She's bringing that back.
Oh yeah, good suggestion from Alan on that callback. I appreciate that. Good call for you to take it.
Just before we break then, Rich, I think about this and tell me whether you've got a problem with it. But I'm allowed to take an advancement for another book. And I'm thinking of taking the boss mood from the Narco, because I think it's time that I exerted my influence on some of those tactical teams.
Well, that encroaches on the Druglords, so I want to make sure Walter's okay with it before I consider it myself. I tend to, that sounds interesting, but I want to make sure that you don't feel encroached on what the Druglord's good at.
Yeah, right. But I think it's also I think I'm kind of hoping we can drag that scene out a little bit by the
I don't think it's gonna be a red time, so.
our forces being like evenly matched. So yeah, if Alan wants to take the boss, and we can each boss off. Have a boss off.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
I'm just thinking about Z's comment last time about identifying a successor before we take out the Druglord.
Yeah, I guess you just decided to help her identify that. That sounds great. Awesome. It is currently 20 after. Let's just take a nice, healthy 10-minute. We'll meet at the half past or half till, according to your point of view. See you guys in 10.
This is all dangerously intense.
Yeah, I'm loving it. This is I can't remember having a standoff, PC standoff like this. I don't know, maybe ever. This is exciting. I realized something. I've realized like a couple things. One is that scene would have been like back when within the brothel would have been a great time for me to have done a what's that, verbally abuse or shame the madam of the place. I wish I'd hit that. The other thing I realized is I was just looking over my moves is I have among my plaza moves, I chose Druglord has a reputation for violence. That was one of the first things I chose. And we were we decided my hustle wasn't good and I wasn't going to be able to pressure that Herglick.
Yeah.
But
we need to stick that in your player. That's a really good catch, is that by me moving it to a different tab, it's invisible to us in the moment.
Yeah. This is one of the hard things about like a short number of sessions. It's like, you know, I feel like I like just kind of get the groove of a character and I'm like sometimes miss my own things. I'm going to see if I can paste them in now. Or maybe you're better at the sheets if you're already trying to. Oh, there they are. Let's see. So I'll try and put it into details here. Kind of worked. Ended up pushing other things down, but I guess that's all right.
Yeah, you've got 3 troubles, right? You've got troubles of Coruscant security, mole, and rivals.
Did I have 3 troubles?
Yeah, because you have to choose 2 troubles, but it comes automatically with trouble of, you know.
Coruscant security. What was the other one?
Mole and rivals. I actually moved it up to the top there with you got a staff of unsophisticated guys, coordinated network of comlink and trouble Coruscant security, mole rivals. You got a mixed protection rackets and smuggling operations, 10 to 20 loyal enforcers, which is a medium-sized gang, 1 or 2 corrupt cops, a few hawks to keep the Druglord informed about what goes on in 1313. And I think that we start off with a hawk giving you the 411 on the Gundark arena. Like that's probably the very first thing that happens when we come back from the commercial break, as it were.
Okay, nice.
And Z is, what's Z gonna? Yeah, no. And do you get a comm alert? Like you just finishing talking to your hawk or your halcon, like your little ear on the street type, when Z calms you. Yeah, Z is calling your lieutenant. She's trying to reach out to you.
I say, so, and where am I? I'm like maybe gathering. I think I'm okay. Yeah. All right. Let's have that scene. All right. So I'm like Z.
I mean, you could even be like back at your compound gathering up weapons and the stuff you want.
I think so. I'm like, yeah, I'm imagining like a scene at the compound, and I'm like gathering up weapons, gathering up, you know, all of my troops, you know, and yeah, I think I'm imagining maybe I've been having trouble getting a hold of Z for a little while, and I'm finally get a hold of him. I'm like, Z, where have you been? Have you heard what happened? Galen's dead.
What? I was not aware of this. This is disturbing.
Galen has been killed. I can't believe this. That disgusting cockroach Zojut is apparently still trying to make moves and has killed Galen. This cannot stand. I will exterminate Zojut. I will exterminate Atima. Anyone else associated with them that I find is going down.
Understood. I have a lead, as you have assigned me to find and eliminate Kazojut.
Well, it's about time. I assigned you that before Galen was killed, and you came back to me and said you had nothing. What good are you? I send you off to take care of these people we know are after us, we know are causing trouble, and while you're looking for them, right underneath your nose, they killed my brother. I'm totally shaming and abusing
You're
him.
so verbally yes. I'm like, if you didn't mean to, you certainly have. Please roll with face.
All right.
And again, that means you kind of care about Z.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm imagining that Z is like instrumental, you know, like I've leaned on Z as my lieutenant. You know, like I think after Galen, Z is probably my number, you know. Now that Galen's dead, I'm probably seeing Z as my number one, which is gonna make it all the sweeter when Z betrays me, it seems. Let's see here.
All right. On a hit, your words will hit hard, and you then.
So okay, yeah. So that's a 12 with my face added. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So on a 10 plus, clear your stress track.
Okay.
And Z will say, "My apologies. It was not my intent to be slow in response to your orders. Please tell me how to proceed."
So tell me, what have you found exactly?
Xojut and a number of his remaining associates, as well as Itima, are at Fakbar's arena, the Gundark fighting arena, currently.
Ah. All right then. And where are you? Can you get there soon?
I am already there.
Excellent. Excellent. This is what I would like you to do. I would like you to prepare for the troops. We're going to do that maneuver that you told me about, that you and the troops had discussed, the one that some of them, when they were still stormtroopers, worked on, the Black Alley ambush technique. We're going to do that at Fukbars. Does it seem like that will be a suitable technique to use at Fukbars? Will that work as well as it worked the last time you tried it?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. I am arming the troops here right now, and we will be there shortly. I'm counting on you, Z.
Your arrival.
Z, this is horrible that Galen has died. I need you. I need you. I need to be able to rely on you now. Z, you understand?
Of course.
Good. Good, then we'll see you soon. And I trust you will have everything prepared.
Everything will be prepared.
And out of that scene, I just want to note that I'm pushing toward my one of my plaza moves, which is your enforcers are trained in military tactics, drop add savage, and take +1 when ordering kidnappings or ambushes.
That sounds awesome. So you'll be making your... Oh, it looks like you unfortunately copied over some stuff.
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll fix it.
There we go. Yeah, I just need to do it more slowly.
Oh, you fixed it. Great.
Well, but now I still need to add it in. I'll figure it out.
Okay, awesome. So you finish up that call, and we see Z, the IG-90 assassin droid, like in a cloak, of course, right, with the little red eyes, and Z is watching as Jir and Haza come into Gundark, the Gundark fighting arena, and so We see Atima, and she's there with a couple of other Ratataki who have they have well, they have what are called shatter guns. Shatter guns are a particular type of blaster you cannot put on stun. They were originally developed by the Verpine, who are an insectoid race, and they do what they're named to do. They are a horrible way to die. And you mostly wear a shatter or carry a shatter gun to terrify people, because getting shot means maybe you'll be okay. Getting shatter guns means that whatever limb will start to dissipate and disintegrate. So it is pretty nasty. So we have a couple of Ratataki big thugs with Atima, who's now just kind of slid into her role of being the lieutenant for Kazojut. And she's set there to meet with a cook, the best cook in all of the plaza, which would be you, Jir. We hear the Gundarks in the fighting arena, the sounds of their slavering mouths as they're tearing into each other, the hoot, hoot, hoot of the fans, and credits are flying as people are betting on it. This is a place that's a little bit on the underground. Corsec's been paid off. They look the other way, and it turns out this is the perfect place for Kazoju to stay here, to rebuild his forces, to prepare himself to take down the Druglord and retake his place. And you, Jir, you may be part of that new empire if you play your cards right. So what do we see when Jir enters the Gundark fighting arena?
So I think that Jir, kind of slips in. I think there's probably like a enforcer or a bouncer outside to make sure that, nobody too nice gets in. And I think Jir just kind of slips, behind him and looks inside. And he sees Haza kind of motioning him over. And I think that they head towards a back room. And in that back room is where a team is going to be. But I think there's, it's not a nice place. There's like a cloth curtain, and it's literally on rings. And as we enter, it's kind of pulled aside and then pulled back. But it's got the, it's got a gap that the camera kind of zooms through. So, and I think that whenever Jir comes in, he, addresses Atima and immediately says, I hear you have a job opening, and I hear you're recruiting. I make good product, and I can give you samples. And I kind of motion to Haza to pull out some. And I say, it seems that my last employers do not respect family. And I hope you know that, family is very important. And I can do a lot for your family, for our family.
Nice. Sounds like you are trying to butter her up, and her response, we'll play to a deal. Feels like a deal is coming, but I think first she's going to say, it is true. I value family. It is important. I know nothing of you Jawa. I'll take you at your word, perhaps, but you are an important part of the Fukpa. How am I to believe that you aren't some kind of mole?
I think whenever
I'm sorry.
Whenever she says Fukpa, Jir spits on the ground and waits for her to finish.
Yeah. Nice. How am I to believe that you aren't a mole from that organization? I hear that at least one of your number had very loose lips. She's asking you to justify your behavior.
And I think that that's whenever Jir turns around and shows the scorch mark in his back and says, the Fukpa killed some of my family. I saw bodies on my own, and then they turned me over to the enforcers, who put me in a jail cell, and I barely escaped. You can look all of this up in the records and see my information on the Cortex and see that I was booked and see the records of their attack on my family.
Mm-hmm. We will. She waits for a moment. It's like she's trying to read your personality. So I want you to go ahead and roll with face. Because that stuff will check out, I will give you a +1 on that. So you're basically rolling flat. You've definitely put out some really good justifications that can be easily validated, but it's still a thing where she's going to have to trust you. Did you roll?
I rolled boxcars.
Oh, man. Okay,
Yeah.
so on a hit, they accept your logic. On a 7 to 9, she'd have a few questions, but on that, she holds her eyes. She glances up at one of the Ratataki, and he taps a few things on this little commune he has on his forearm, checks out. And then she says, "You sure I need 2 cooks?"
And I think Jier's taken aback by this and looks at Haza and says, "I'm the cook. This is the apprentice."
Oh, she says, "That's not what he said." And she points to Haza, and Haza steps back. No. I was talking for you. What do you do?
I think Jier looks at Haza. Oh, is there a betrayal move? Maybe I read that somewhere else. Yeah, okay. So basically he turns to Haza and he says, "You have not yet learned everything, and I'm sure you're acting with the clan's best interest in mind. We will talk about whether or not you get to learn more before you become a full-fledged cook."
He starts to drop to his knees. He's trying to grovel because he thinks, "Oh God, this has gone terribly wrong. We're going to cut away from you because I think this is when the poodoo hits the fan."
Oh, by the way, before all of that ends, I'd like to negotiate basically the cost, which is making all the stuff disappear with the feds and settling my debts. And to do that, I'm going to burn off the debt key.
Okay,
right?
Cool.
Which is just basically settling everything up.
Good. Well, let's put that to a roll. Let's have you propose a deal, like your pay, right? So you're proposing a deal to get what you want, which to get your family out of debt.
Right.
Roll with face.
Okay.
Oof. This is not the thing you're built for. Okay.
I got a 6. Yep.
Okay. So you're like, you want to get your family out of debt. Atima looks at you and she says, "Yes, of course. Of course."
Perfect.
Why would we want your family indebted to us?
Indebted to others. Right? The whole point was, yes.
Yes, that. Yes, that. And she just accepts it so readily without any pushback that you have a feeling that you're going to have to push on that again later.
And I can burn off that key?
Yes, you can burn off that key. Good. So now we go to the terror that is the reason this place is called the Bloody Pit. That is when you, Miss Fuqua. Yes.
Sorry to intervene. By now, I think I'm probably in the task force surveillance flyer, tracking all this from a safe distance.
I love it. It's so funny. If only we had an assassin who has some kind of long range. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. So we start off with Holly. And you arrive. What do you come up in? Do you guys have some kind of like hover truck that everybody pulls up in? Do you pull up in a sleek land speeder of some kind, and then all the troopers show up in some kind of APC? What do you imagine the arrival on the scene looks like for little Holly and her forces?
Yeah, you know, I think it looks really normal at first. I think there's like, you know, some a couple people strung out in the alley behind the establishment. There's you know, some taxis driving by. There's like you know, like maybe a couple just kind of walking down the street, having like a, you know, a little, you know, night on the town. And then all of a sudden there's this this one like vehicle hovers over the roof, and very quietly into the shadows, two figures kind of drop down onto the ceiling. And then the two guys that are strung out in the back alley, leaning against the wall, they like remove their cloaks and they've got their armor underneath. And the couple that was out on the date, you know, they like throw off their overcoats and they've got their armor, and everyone takes out their guns and they're just like, boom, it's like, it's on. And, you know, someone kicks down the back door. One of the guys from the ceiling, from the roof, swings in the window, and this is like full on. These are trained crack stormtrooper vets. And, you know, like they did anti-insurgent work, and they're pulling out all the stops. This is what they live for. This is what they work for me for.
I love it. I think you are ordering your enforcers to solve a problem on your behalf. The problem being Kazojud and his rising forces of Radataki thugs. So you go ahead and roll with face.
Okay. Ooh, well, it's a good thing I have a good face. That bumps me to a 7.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, choose one. They keep their wits in focus. They minimize incriminating evidence and avoid collateral, or they avoid collateral damage is the third one.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna say they keep their wits in focus, because that's where I'm at right now. They understand how important this is for me.
And where are you in all of this? Because we saw all your forces doing the attack. Is this a thing where you're also in an observation spot, or do you arrive after they've made the initial kind of insertion?
I am. I'm gonna push on my key to get my hands dirty, and I'm gonna say that that couple having the date, like I was the woman, you know. I like, you know, I had my purse with me, and I was, you know, and then I just like throw that to the ground, take out Galen's machete, and, you know, the trooper that was standing next to me, we're like, we're going in together. I'm right there in the middle of it all.
Oh, that's delightful. Cool. So
I've even told them that I do not want to let her get away, but if at all possible, I want to kill Atima myself with my own hands.
Totally makes sense to me. So we see all of that action coming like all on street level. It's done with a little bit of like a hand cam to give a little bit of a shaky action. We hear the sound of blaster fire. We hear the sound of a vibro blade coming out, and then we cut to another view of it from very, very high. It's up in the aerial view, and we see Delvoka, and the pilot says, looks like they're making their move, and it comes over, they're making their move. And what is it that Delvoka does?
Yeah, I envisage the screen with all these kind of, you know, dots appearing and moving through the building. And this is, I think, where I'll deploy my contacts, because I'm assuming that Terrace thinks this is her raid.
Of course she does.
But I'm going to deploy my comms to the lead of the tactical unit, the CorpSec tactical unit, to order my enforcers or agents to solve a problem on my behalf.
Yes.
Which is plus face, which is +1. That is 8. Okay. So the nice thing about this is that they don't need to minimize incriminating evidence because they're official. And collateral damage is part of what this is about. So they keep their wits and focus.
Okay. Oh my God, this is great. All right.
And so now we have a different colored set of dots closing on the building.
Nice, nice, nice.
So I would like to know if my partner and Terrace and Miri are there.
They have to be, right? They're there. You see Miri and your partner, who's Unmai. I'm sorry, I have problems with her name. Anmai.
That's right.
Anmai and Miri and Tanis are all kind of moving as a little triumvirate there, a little triangle, and they've got a few CorpSec in front of them, but they are right at the head of the point of the spear that are heading from the front, right? So
collateral damage waiting to happen, really.
Yeah, yes, lots of collateral damage.
And presumably I can hear Terrace's communication to the team she thinks are hers. But I can speak to them. Fine.
Yeah. She's like, all right, you carking idiots, let's go in, let's hit hard, let's take them down. 2 for 1 here. And they will start the attack. We cut inside the Gundark arena where Haza is like, it looks like Deer, you're like, I haven't taught you everything. And he has his hands up. And we see the little gloves that he wears. He's very nervously accepting, okay, maybe this is going to work out. He's not going to die. And that's when you hear and blaster fire over your head, and one of the Ratataki falls down to the ground. Atima kicks out from the table, and the other Ratataki pulls out a shattergun, and she is going to reach for the shattergun. It's fallen right at your feet. Atima is reaching for that shattergun and is right at your feet. What do?
I grab the shattergun that's right at my feet, and I hand it to Atima, and then I get under the bench.
You don't need to roll for that. That is too great. Also, so you hand her the shattergun, and she nods like a little bit of thanks. And the other Ratataki thug is there, and you hear someone screaming out, and it's all subtitled. You're Jawa, you understand the Ratataki native tongue, but it's Kazojut screaming that someone's coming in the back door. And then there's a bunch of commotion. Now you were in a little kind of back area that wasn't accessed by the back door directly, but you know that things are coming. So you're trying to get the heck out of Dodge, right?
Right now I'm just hiding, and I had this image of, I think that these guys, I'm trying to assess the situation and figure my best way out kind of thing. These guys, Atima and her goons, are kind of getting a defensive position. I ducked under a bench and kind of pulled on Haas's robe, like, you should get under here with me, yeah.
Cool. He will. The two of you are underneath this table as a bunch of poodoo going down. And yeah, that is amazing. So let's have you, I don't know, you're not sizing someone up. I think you're just kind of hanging tight until the situation changes. Does that feel about right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Cool. We hear an explosion, a thermal detonator goes off, and we cut back to Lil Holly as you are forcing your way in. I think you're about to turn to violence here, Lil Holly. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I said yes. I'm all about that for sure. Let's see. So, should I roll turn to violence then, or what are we?
Yeah, when you turn to violence, roll with savagery. On a hit, you trade harm as established.
Okay. Okay.
Savagery is 2, so you're good.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, can I take like that bonus for ambush on this roll?
Absolutely. This is 100% an ambush, and I don't think you'll
Okay.
ever get another chance to ambush. So please roll with +1.
All right. Well, I got a 7 with +3. That's a 10.
Nice.
That
Okay,
ambush helped out.
that is awesome. On a 10, you can choose 3. You inflict terrible harm, you suffer little harm, you resist marking stress, you avoid collateral damage. I think I think we know which 3 you take because you already chose earlier. Collateral damage is a-okay, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Let's see. Oh wait. Oh, I get to choose 3. Okay. So yeah. Then I guess I'll choose those 3. Yeah, and I'll let the collateral damage go where it may. I mean, I guess I could like minimize the collateral damage by choosing something else at this point, right?
Sure.
But I mean, maybe let's establish the scene a little bit more. Like, what is at stake here, collateral damage wise? I mean, there's my troops, and then there's, as far as I know, I'm only expecting Atima, and I'm certainly hoping that I find Kazojut here as well. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hold back on the collateral damage. So yeah, okay. I'll say.
I mean, the scene, the assets that you may not want destroyed. This is a rather profitable arena that has paid you guys off. They're also used to smuggle a lot of your drugs because they're a conduit between other sectors, other levels. So there is some value to this place not being burnt to a slag. And yeah, there's totally got to be that thing. Thank you for that suggestion, because that has to happen any moment now.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not a thing where you're like, you know that there would be some financial impact to the cartel if this place is destroyed. But the fact that they are, you know, they have Kazojut and Atima in their midst, maybe they're worthy of it.
Yeah. So how about this? Maybe it seems like it'd be more worthwhile for me to take avoid collateral damage and instead take stress or harm for myself if we had like a flashback to me, like, no, you know, I don't know if I would contact I think I would just want this to be a full-on ambush. I don't think I would want to have contact with the owner of this place. So
and
I don't know. I might be kind of pissed at the owner of this place. Like, what the hell is Atima doing here?
Absolutely, like, maybe, you're on the warpath. You're 100% justified.
I think so. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'll take all the others and let there be collateral damage.
Okay, I love it.
All right.
So we hear that thermal detonator come off. The first thing that we see is Kazojut pops out from one of the rooms, fires a shatter gun, and hits one of your, not your lieutenant, because you're Lieutenant Z, but like one of the black former stormtroopers. The guy screams in agony as he falls to the ground. His body starts to warble and snap, and then Z stuns his ass. It just kind of slides out from behind the caged area where the Gundarks are fighting and stuns Kazojut, and he falls to the ground. And there is like a bunch of collateral damage. People are getting shot up. All of a sudden, there's a smaller explosion near the Gundark arena, and one of the Gundarks was sitting there holding, like, lockjawed on the throat of his opponent, looks up, and then bounds outside with a bloody maw, and people start screaming as the Gundark just leaps on top of an Ugnaught and rips it ahead. And there's blood that gets splattered on the Jawa because he's like getting thrown so far. So both Haza and Jir get first-hand view of this Gundark tearing up an Ugnaught, which is about Jawa-sized. And then it turns and it looks at you, Jir, for a moment, and so we'll cut away from that because we want to see what your reaction is. Up top in the aerial view of everything, you are listening to Tanis saying, "I don't know what's going on, but we have our perfect opportunity. Let's go." And that's when they bust in from the front door. and there will be very little resistance. So we cut inside to Lil Holly. You have a knocked out Kazojut, and one of your like the sergeant for the troops reports that that Atima is holed up in that back room right there, and he like points to the back room. There's this little curtain that is just kind of waving in the wind. What do you do, Lil Holly?
Nice. So did we establish that Atima was Kajojut's sister or something like that?
Cousin.
Cousin? Okay. All right, that's close enough. So okay, and they say that Atima is holed up in the back room, but we haven't taken the back room yet.
You haven't taken the back room. You've basically cleared this area. There's dead or dying. The music's still playing. This weird like just hear the growl of the Gundark and the smell of ozone and fire and flame and blood here.
So I'm gonna pick up Zojut's body and hold it up in front of me like a human shield, basically. Signal with my machete for one of my troopers to like basically bash down with this, portable battering ram they have for these, uses. Just bash down the door into Atima's room. And I'm just going to walk into the door with holding her cousin as like a human shield in front of me and just take out my blaster and just be like, looking for Atima.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Nice suggestion. Cool. So I think what you're doing at this point is, I think you're not quite turning to violence. You're trying to. Well, I think she kind of sort of knows she's dead meat, so her giving up doesn't feel like an option in this tete-a-tete. I think it's just is she going to fire on her cousin to try to save her own butt or not? I think she's got that shatter gun up, and I think you're pushing your luck that Kazojut is giving you enough for her to falter, right? So let's see how that goes.
Okay. So push your luck is...
I don't know. If you were to offer her any kind of quarter, even if it's a lie, I would allow you to pressure her to go along with this. Otherwise, if it's just a thing where you're trying to use him as a human, as a Radataki shield to get her to flinch so you can take him down, then you push your luck. Does that make sense, those two moves?
Yeah. I'm mostly just like I'm imagining her with her shatter gun, and I like the drama of me like having her like cousin in between her shatter gun and myself while I like basically I do see myself. I actually do see this as savage. I just see this as like part of my savagery, like I'm actually see myself going into the room and trying to take out Atima.
So then you're just turning to violence at the end of the day.
I'm turning to violence. Yeah. I'm just like holding her brother in front of me as a human shield. Her cousin is like just for the extra effect. And and cool. also the karma, it's like you took out my family. It's like, here, I'm going to use your family, like the meat puppet that it is.
Perfect. Okay, so she sees Kazojut, and she knows this is it. Like one of your guys took out the other guy who had the carbine. It's just her. She's back against the wall, literally, and you come in with Kazojut. Let's see you turn to violence. Let's see how this comes out.
Okay. So I got +2 savage. Let's see. Actually, let me, if I could just pause for one moment. Let's see. Okay. If I will before I roll, I will put to you that if I get, also we're pretty much at the end of time anyway, that I'm 1 XP away from getting another advance, and that and I think like walking in here to do this on my own is like getting my hands dirty. So if you want to give me that,
yes,
then I could take.
You earned it. You fulfilled that, definitely.
I could take as an advance a move from the Sicaria playbook, which gives me another +1 savagery and get my savage up to a max of +3. I'm gonna go all out on the savage here. That's my thing. All right, so here we go. I got +3. What happens? Oh, I rolled a 3. I got a 6 even with my +3. Oh, Merry Christmas, Rich. What happens?
All right. So you push your way in with Kazojut and Atima back against the wall. She's got, and there's something about her stance that's just a little less nervous than you anticipated. And you decide to fire on her before she gets you. But right as you do, you hear this explosion behind you. And it's just enough to throw you off. And you get carking shot. So let's see you do that. So when you get carking shot, and again, the move is in the playbook. And that always bothers me because I have to spin around. Okay, add 1 for each. It's a handgun or other small weapon. You get a 1 for that. Shooter's an amateur. Guess what? She is not an amateur, and she is trying to kill you. You have cover. So you get a +2.
Right. Okay, sounds good. So let's see what we got here.
If you roll a miss, you're pretty much finished.
All right, I rolled an 8, +2 is a 10.
Nice. Cool. On a hit, you'll live. On a 10+, it's a minor but heroic wound. So
what happens on a 7 to 9?
On a 7 to 9, you choose 1, and the shooter chooses 1. You either choose it's bloody, it's messy, or it's painful.
Yeah, let's do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interfere.
Yes.
So from under the bench, I think that Gier kind of sees the shot go off, and sees you kind of start to get hit. And like jumps up and like gives you a good shove. I mean, you are the one, your brother's the one that kind of attacked my family. So I'm gonna wager. I wager stress. So I'm gonna wager 2 stress. And I got an 8 + 2 is 10.
Wow. Okay. So I was just looking at the harm move again. So you just interfered. You wager your stuff. But I'm glad you used this. I love this move. So you wager stress, max +3, and roll. On a hit, you give them a +1 or a -2 to their roll, your choice. And on 7 to 9, you mark however much stress you wagered on the roll. You roll a 10, so you don't have to mark any stress. You just wagered it. And you're giving a -2 to knock that down to an 8. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's a trade.
Yes, there is. So when you get carking shot, you roll 7 to 9, you choose 1, and the shooter chooses 1. So there'll be 2 options. It's bloody, you'll die without immediate aid. It's messy, the wound will leave an impressive, ugly scar. It's painful, -1 ongoing until you get medical attention.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to say it's messy. The wound will leave an impressive, ugly scar.
Awesome. And I'm going to say it's bloody. You'll die without immediate aid. And here is what happens. She dials it in. That explosion happens behind you. You glance just for a second. When you look back, she's already fired that shatter gun. And she fires right at your hand. And it quickly starts to just do this weird shaking and then explodes into like these hardened chunks and leaving your hand. And Kazojut falls to the ground, and you got to get away, right? Because she's going to fire you again. She's now waiting for Kazoju to move, and she's going to fire on you again. What do you do? You hear blaster fire behind you. You hear Coruscant security. Everybody on the ground.
All right. Now, are you telling me that I need immediate aid, that I cannot continue fighting? Like, is turning to violence or pressuring? The things that the things I'm seeing here are, and the Coruscant security just announced their presence.
Yeah, just announced their presence. Yes.
This is definitely not going the way I'd planned. All right. I mean, I think I've got two major options that I see. I feel like at this point there's really only one thing that I could do, which is carry through. Like, she killed my brother. I'm not gonna back down. I'm gonna charge in. I think I'm gonna turn to violence.
So you've lost the weapon, and now you just grab that machete out with your offhand and go after her anyway.
Yeah.
God, that's insane. This is great. You are so great.
I think I even see myself, like, I want to say I like what did Jir do exactly? That Jir was like.
I think I jumped out and I kind of, distracted you as I was like pummeling at you, because I saw the source of, a lot of the destruction of my family. And I think that, during this whole hustle, as you were shooting and she was shooting back, you kind of hit me to the side. So I think Jir's on the ground, and whenever the announcement comes in that the Imperials are coming in, we see this zoom in on, these glowing eyes of Jir, like, and you see this fear, the authorities.
All right.
I didn't know about that.
All right. So I think I just glance off to the side at Jir, like, this, like, you evil little imp in my way, and then I like glance down at my stump of a wrist. And I look at Xochitl, who's like dropped to the floor now, and I grab the machete with my offhand, and I just lunge at Atima. Nothing else matters now. It's everything.
This is everything. This is the best moment. I love it. Return to violence. You roll it with savagery. You got a good shot here. Just don't roll another 3.
Yeah, right. Okay, I rolled a 7. That's a 10.
Plus, that's a 10. Okay, so on a hit, trade harm is established. On 10 plus, you get to choose 3. So you charge forward. She tries to fire that shatter gun again, but it's got a cycling time. So what options do you choose?
Okay. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to say I suffer little harm, because I'm already. Doesn't seem like I can afford to take any more harm. But I'll definitely choose that I inflict terrible harm. And then I get to choose a third one.
You do. And I didn't tell you how much stress losing your hand was. I think that's got to be too.
Yeah. Okay. And then okay, yeah, that makes sense. So then I guess I'll say I resist marking stress again for this.
Okay, that's probably a good call. Awesome. So
yeah,
you move in, you chop at her hand so she's unable to fire the shatter gun before it recycles again to fire, and she hits you a couple times, but you suffer little harm. So you end up hacking her to pieces, and that's right when you hear from right behind you, like you're standing there heaving from all the effort. You've gotten your bloody vengeance, and you hear, you wouldn't know who it is, but we hear on my end doc say, "Drop the weapon right now. This is not set to stun. You're under arrest."
And I am like my hand is shattered. I am just like bleeding out of my stump of a wrist, and I think this like something has like turned in me as I'm like I just savaged Atima's body. I mean, it's brutal, and I think as Enmai walks in, it's like I'm imagining as she's shouting this, there's a bit of disgust on her face as she like sees just how brutally I savaged Atema's body, and but I think I'm just kind of like I'm kind of at this downturn, this like piece, this like, okay, this phase is over. I will just succumb to my fate now and fight the next battle on a new stage. And I think I just drop my machete and turn and look at Atima in the eye, or Enmai in the eye.
As that sinks in on the audience, I think we probably see the black van kind of circling down to land outside, so Dalvoka can come and just survey the scene, really.
Yeah. So Dalvoka, you land, you see that the Coruscant, they're already pulling out. There are a couple of Ratataki who are able to walk there in binders. You see a number of Holly's people are also being pulled out. You do not see Z in any of the people that have been arrested and are being pulled out right now. And I think Miri will come over and she says, Enmai got the bust. She got little Holly.
Did she? Where are they now?
They're inside. She needs medical treatment. They're trying to cauterize it.
We'll take her in the black van, and I'll go through to the back, and I'll look little Holly in the eye and say, "Come with me, ma'am."
Okay, so, Enmai's with you. She's arrested you. She's put you in. She can't really. She's put you in one binder and then kind of attach that to your back, and then your stump.
Handcuffs aren't working.
Yeah, handcuffs don't really work when you only have one hand. So she's going to lead you to the black van. She is high on life. She's just made the greatest bust of her entire career. She has made it. She sees like lieutenant stripes and just all this other stuff, and this is it. You know, she's already preparing her speech to tell her parents about how she cleaned out 1313 with this grizzled veteran, and she leads you out, and you guys end up in the van. So tell me about this van. Where does little Holly end up sitting? Where's Enmai?
Well, Enmai isn't coming because she deserves to go straight back to the station and log the booking, doesn't she? Whereas we need to go to the nearest source of medical aid.
I think you're trying to justify this as normal regs to her. So let's see you justify your behavior to her. Roll with face.
Which is with face, which is +1. That's 10.
She looks bad off. But hey, don't lose my collar, okay, boss?
No, it's your collar. Get back to the station, book it in quickly, and tidy up as much of the rest. You could get a huge amount of credit if you can also pick up 2 or 3 other importants. Okay?
She like reaches out to pat your shoulder after she pushes little Holly in, and then she just impulsively reaches up and hugs you really quick, and then steps back and takes off to go back into the.
And as she takes off, I say, Enmai, you did good.
Thank you.
So the black van is it's surveillance equipment. It's got no particular first aid stuff. And so I shuffle little Holly into the back, covering her with a gun, because she's a dangerous criminal after all. And and Crix and Mongao, who are the technical end of this, they're in the front driving it. And so
Can we also say that you took Jir and Huzzah with you?
Yes. Good plan.
Also, because I was about to cut to them to figure out how they're going to try to fake their way out of here, but I'd love for them to be along for the ride. That sounds fun.
I am adopted by the clan after all. So yeah, they're all in the back, and I go around to the front, and I lean into Crix and I say, "Just take us up and circle around for a little while."
You got it.
And then get back in the back of the van and watch little Hallie bleed out. Really.
I love you, Alan. Every game I play with you, you break my heart.
Yeah, that's kind of true, isn't it? But yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for a little Hallie Football to go down. The justice system doesn't work at this level in Coruscant. And Enmai gets the benefit of the collar, sadly died on the way to the hospital.
So here it is, though. Jir and Haza, you're in the back with Lil Holly. You've been kind of saved from processing. And Haza looks over at you, Jir. She looks bad. She looks real bad.
And Jir says, "It's for the best of the clan. She killed us. He is one of the clan."
I think you are
works on all kinds of levels.
I think you're trying to pressure Haza into going along with you here, right? I'll give you a +1 because of the clan. I think that feels right to me, but you still need to
pressure Haza.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead, can I size Haza up to see if they're, where exactly they are?
Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah. And size up is savagery?
It is.
And I think I've got a 0 in savagery.
You do.
Ooh, I rolled a 6. Yeah.
Okay.
But I could help.
You could.
I
certainly could.
And let me think how much. I haven't got a lot of stress to play with, actually. I will wager 2 stress.
All right.
And so I roll +2. Yeah,
you do. These dice are so capricious.
I needn't have wagered, but there you go. Does that cost me anything at all?
It doesn't. On a 10+, you don't have to mark that stress. On a 7 to 9, you give the help, but you mark that much stress.
Okay, so that gets to +1, so that's at least 7.
That's 7. Okay. And size someone up.
You get 1 question from the size someone up. Do you need me to drop those questions in for you?
No, I've got it.
Okay.
What do you intend to do next? What is Haza's intention here? I mean, I presented the question, I presented the statement, you're choosing clan or Lahali.
Yeah, you put that to him and you size him up and you realize he's going to choose clan. What he intends to do next is to just let Lahali go, but only because you applied that pressure. His first instinct was actually kind of decent. We shouldn't let this person bleed out. This is a terrible way to go. So Lil Holly, everything's starting to fade. You got your vengeance. You killed Atima, but everything's getting fainter. You feel tired. What do you do?
Yeah. I'm there's 2 voices inside of me. One of them is this sort of like No, there's all kinds of feelings inside of me. I'm crushed that my brother has died. I feel some satisfaction that I was able to take vengeance, but now I think just the loss of my brother is crushing me, and I think in this moment, with all the stress and the pain I'm feeling with my injured arm, I'm just overwhelmed at the loss of Galen, and a tear. I'm kind of dissociating from the moment. Like, I'm not even listening to their conversation. I don't even care, and just a tear is falling down my eye as I hold in my one good hand I'm playing with the ring, Galen's ring, just thinking about Galen, and then I turn to Dalfoka, and I say, I could control this plaza better than anyone. I can make your life good, Dalvoka. Let's work together on this.
Is this a deal?
Yes. Z has let me down too many times. I need someone who can get things done. You seem to be getting in my way a lot lately, Dalvoka. You can get things done. But you can't do the dirty work because you're ISB. You need me.
Do you know what, Lil Harry? This isn't about the plaza. This isn't about the money or the drugs. This is about Galen. Galen was free and clear of all of this, and then you called him back. You called him back, and you got him killed.
No! No! The Holly tries to lunge at you, but she doesn't have the energy to do it, and she just crumples and is crying and having a fit at your feet. She's trying to hit you with her one good hand, but she just doesn't have enough left to do it.
Oh man, I think you reopened the wound that had barely closed, right? And you start bleeding out then and there.
Yeah, I think this is where Lahali dies. I think Lahali dies saying no, and just like clutching at your pant leg.
And I think Jir sees this, and Jir stands up, and Haza is kind of hiding a little bit, not like this is horrible. And Jir forces Haza up and to watch. This is a lesson.
Shit. Oh my god, that's so harsh. And I think we hear his sniffles, right? Because his tears are hidden by the hood, and the shadows there. But you hear him just whimpering as he watches the Holly fade away. And I think we will end that scene with just the glow of Haza's eyes as he is watching little Holly fade away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So I think what I think we move to epilogues at this point, right? It's any scene on top of this that isn't kind of an epilogue putting things to bed, we can do that in epilogue. We'll end up being a little bit early, but that seems like the moment when the credits fucking roll, right? Oh my goodness. Short but bloody reign of little Holly Fookpaw. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so good. All right. So let's take a moment. So what I'd like to do at this point, just kind of stepping away from mechanics, but if you want to tie stuff into mechanics, things that you thought might be next step, that kind of stuff. This is our post-credit sequence where if you're alive, we see what is next for you, or maybe it's a literal epilogue like the end of your character. It's cool with me, either way you want to go. And then Walter, for little Holly, I'd love to see some kind of epilogue of, the memory of the Holly and Galen, or perhaps we see some remnant or legacy of them as it exists in 1313. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
All right. Good. Awesome. What I know, he never got he got credited, but it turns out that Father Joran, his scenes were cut. They ended up on the cutting room floor, my friends. It's so sad. There's already a campaign online to have that stuff reinserted and have an extended edition of the Hutt Cartel movie. But it looks like Jordan's stuff was cut for time. Cool. So who would like to go first in epilogues?
I'd like to go first if that's all right, because then Stephen can decide whether he wants Gia to step in. Just mechanically, I think I verbally abused or shamed Ilhali at her death.
God, so you did. That's where I was like, I just want to step back and watch, and I stopped being an MC. I'm sorry. I did a bad job there. I was just like, nope, this is.
So I rolled to recover some stress for verbally abusing somebody. That would. I think that in terms of my key, mark XP when you play two sides against each other without their knowledge. So that would take my XP to 3, which would give me an advance.
Okay.
I think that I've also cleared that key in advance when I openly choose one of your loyalties over the other, which I think is what I've just done.
Yeah.
And I've a suspicion that I now take the Plaza move from the Narco sheet.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
I think probably the epilogue scene, because we know Z survived, don't we? The epilogue scene is me having a conversation with Z at Unmai's, where we meet, where it's clear who's in charge now, isn't it, Z? But of course, there'll have to be somebody who fronts the business. And that, my friend, is you. Fade.
Nice. And we fade. Yeah, that's good. I had a thought, but I'd rather that fade is perfect the way it is. So I will not yes and, because that is just great. What about you, Stephen? Do you have post-credit sequence in mind for Gier?
I do. So I think what we see here is kind of a gathering of the Jawa. This is, you see an elder Gier, and you see, kind of a stronger Haza, and probably let's see, what's the name? Zine? Vez. Vez is there as well. So Vez is the little child that was adopted by Del Voca. And the older Gier is telling the story of how the clan was attacked by the Fookpaws, and how because of the betrayal there, we were able to strike and get control through Veem's parents, and how the clan came out better for this. And I think, Gier stops and coughs a little bit, because the long-term effects of cooking aren't good. But you see kind of Huzzah steps up and supports him a little bit, and then, turns to all of the younger Jawas and says, yes, this is how we found our place here.
There's like a surprising number of little Jawa all huddled around listening. I love it. That is spectacular. Walter, did you have any post-credit sequence that you'd like to add in?
Yeah. I want to add one little scene. It's like a flashback. A little bit. The film looks a little older, a little sepia toned, and a little like a shroud of fog over it. And we're looking back at a very young Lil Holly, like 7, 8 years old. This very spunky punk kid, and she's in a fight in a yelling match with some older kids, and a bit of a fight breaks out, and there's more of them, and they're bigger than her. And then Galen shows up and evens the odds, and they're able to drive off the kids. And there's this scene of a young Lil Holly and Galen, kind of nursing their bruises from their kid fight, and Lil Holly saying, "Galen, I'll never forget this. We're gonna stick together through everything." And that's the scene.
Oh, wow. And sweeping John Williams music comes up, and we go on for all the credits. No animals were harmed. There's like this long series of Asian names of people who helped out on all of the special effects. And then people get up and they leave, but the house lights haven't come on at the theater. And you're like, what's going on? And all of a sudden we come to a port, and the port's on Coruscant. And we see there, ships that are leaving, and person turns in some credits. They're wearing the regular cloak, the Star Wars cloak, of course, right, to hide their identity. And they have right behind them a Trandoshan, and we recognize the Trandoshan is Lisk from the prison sequence. And we see as the person hands off a little ticket to an Imperial, and he takes it and says, "All right," and goes in, and the two of them are standing as the ship starts to take off. And the Lisk, the female Trandoshan, she says, "It's a crazy idea going to Tatooine of all places." The hooded figure says, "Jabba the Hutt's dead. I heard there's an opening for a Druglord." And then he pulls back his cloak, and we see his Kazoju Theratataki. And then the lighthouse lights come on, and that's the end of our game. Woo!
Yay!
All right, you guys, that was amazing and spectacular. It is 18 till. Let's just take a couple minutes, and then we'll do any feedback. But if people want to take off early, that's fantastic. So we'll meet at 15 till, a quarter till. So see you guys in 3 minutes.
Well, I'm exhausted.
That was good. Just so you know, Alan, I basically had your back as soon as I saw what moves you were starting to make. So I was like, oh, he's part of the clan, and I took an advance and was like, yeah, let me see what I can do to make sure that this goes down.
Yeah, the reason that I didn't, I was glad that you brought it up, that join us in the van, because I think I was trying to keep you out of trouble for some reason, but but there it goes.
Yeah, I didn't get to help much, but yeah,
I'm really glad that you. Well, your help was incredibly what it counted. Like, you're the reason.
Jir probably made one of the more pivotal moves with that hindrance right there.
Yeah. I don't know that I've seen hindrance that often in Powered by the Apocalypse games, but
well, I mean, we definitely had some serious PC on PC action this whole series, right? I mean, with Galen going against the Jawas. It was almost like it was the Fukpas versus the other PCs.
It very much was that.
Which fits the genre.
Yeah, that's the trouble with being a psychopath, isn't it? It's just everybody else is the enemy.
Well, I think it really fits well with the two episodes too, right? I mean, like I can imagine this being like the conclusion of a longer series where there was more entanglements, right? But we just cut right to the meat at the end.
Yeah, and I just want to say I forgot again to mention safety tools. I'm sorry. That's definitely it's a failing of mine. I'm just gonna have to put like a little note by my monitor to make sure that I mention it. I mean, I've played with you guys. I know that I trust you to speak up, but I always think it's a good conversation to have at the outset to remind people that it is out there, because sometimes in the moment you can forget that is part of how we play. Thank you, Alan. But I wanted to say I really appreciate that we were able to have a game with players working against their characters, working against other characters without feeling like the players were working against other players. Walter, I've seen games go down like this where the player who had two players going against them got offended and took it personally, and you told the story like a champ, and it was gory and beautiful and perfect, and it could not have been any better than if you had bought in and leaned into it and still advocated for your character. Like, even at the end, like, I'm not just going to go out like a punk. You were still a protagonist, still trying to cut a deal. And that was so cool. That was so cool to see different levels from poor little Holly. Such a vicious girl, man. I just want to say Terrence Stamp did a poor job of raising you. But anyway, thank you, Walter, so much for that. I just wanted to on the top say that. Wow, that was brilliant. But still, there are always things that could be improved. So let me throw out there: do two thorns, roses and thorns, a normal feedback process. What thorns did you guys have from this session? Things that I can do to improve this as I run it at Origins. Aspects of the game at the table that I should focus on or be mindful of.
So I have something.
Yeah.
I was looking through the different playbooks as I made an advancement to see what kind of moves I could potentially take. And one of the things I noticed as I looked through the playbooks is each of the playbooks seems very laser focused on one stat. So, like, the cook is all grit, and some of them are all face. And that's something I don't usually see in most other Powered by the Apocalypse Apocalypse playbooks, is they tend to have a mix and encourage players to not focus in on one stat, to do things that are key to their playbook, but also draw them out of their comfort zone. Maybe they're not so good at being a face or savage or something like that. And I didn't see that in these playbooks. So that's something that was either a conscious design decision or it was unintentional and needs to be revamped a little bit.
good feedback.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's interesting, Steve, because I kind of took it as being intentional, that almost to step out of your comfort zone into moves. It literally means undertaking moves that you're not very good at. And I don't know what that does seem to me to be an interesting way to run, but it would be interesting to know whether Mark Diaz Truman intended or not that, because I think you're right. I think that they are a bit like that.
Well, what about that would encourage you to take moves that are outside of your comfort zone? Because like all the cook moves are all grit.
Oh, sorry. I meant that all of your specialist moves tend to be around one thing.
Oh,
but then the basic moves are where you start to step outside, I suppose, is what I'm meaning.
Yeah,
right.
Okay. That's
but
right.
advancements advancements get tricky if you take something from another playbook, because it almost invariably will be with a stat you're not as good at. So it's got to be a thing like I really want the opportunity to grab for these particular options.
I did notice that. I was looking at like moves from other playbooks, and I was like, wow, there's really like only a couple playbooks that have moves that seem also the kind of along similar lines. Like some of the playbooks are just have super different focuses. Like the enforcer, the Sicaria, it's like all about violence and getting things done, and maybe sizing people up a little bit. But then like Esposa and I think one of the other playbooks, it's very social moves. So there's it's almost like there's a couple of very different spheres of the game, and some playbooks really only live successfully in like one sphere or another.
Yeah, I've seen that. I first started noticing something similar to that in Monster Hearts. Whenever I would try to take a move from another playbook, it was actually worsened in second edition, where things are just so like each playbook is its own kind of drama, its own set of tropes, its own move set. And then if you look at masks, some of the moves that exist in certain playbooks have their own little economies or other stuff to track. And if you just pull that move out, it can become really complicated. It's like, how much of this whole economy do I take with this particular move? And this seems like part of the Magpie game's house style is that each playbook, it really kind of exists as its own thing, often will have their own specific stats. Like the soldier playbook in Magpie has a stat that no other playbook has. And that exists here in Cartel.
That's true, yeah. Like the Druglord has the control,
right,
which is basically a stat that only the Druglord has.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I saw the same thing Walter did. As I was looking through, I was like, well, I'm not going to take some of the spouses moves. They would be really interesting, but they're not focused in the direction we're taking this game.
Right. And I think that we may have, if we knew it was going to be like a 4 to 6 session series, that might have been, the choices might have felt different.
Yeah. So that might be advice to you, is to limit the playbooks to something that you think you could handle at Origins in a limited time. So if you want to have a violent game like this one, limit it to those and take out, like, I think it's the rat and the spouse or something like that, the social playbooks. Yeah.
I think that's a really good suggestion. Thank you for that. Cool. Any other thorns out there?
Only one, and it's again about the design of the playbooks. I think the harm moves needs to be listed under basics, because it is a pain in the bum as a referee, leaping back and forth.
That will be definitely in the basic moves of my new move sheet, because I don't have to rename a bunch of stuff anyway. I'm going to come on my own custom move sheet, and it's going to be so much less pretty than this. Dang it. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Thank you for that. All right, let's circle back around. Walter, what roses did you have to hand out to your fellow players for the game?
Oh, wow. I mean, it was wonderful. I love that Jir and Lil Holly had basically zero interaction, except for when, just at the moment that Lil Holly was getting her moment of glorious vengeance, Jir just like jumps out from under the table and like mucks everything up, and Lahalia loses her hand. That was that was kind of brilliant, especially because I think we'd established. I want to like read this actually, because it's like amazing that we like never really interacted. But my thing with my tie with Jir was you're sure Jir, but Cloudkill is up to something, maybe with another cartel or Coruscant security. Keep your eyes open. So that was like a brilliant intersection there. Couldn't have hit that better.
Nice. Thank you, Walter. That was great. Alan, did you have any roses to hand out?
Oh yeah, loads. Yeah, I think, Stephen, you know, I keep coming back to this whenever I give you positive feedback. It's always about, I just love the Jawa. But, you know, they've gone from those little guys who are almost comic relief in the movies. Now they have culture, they have heritage, they have family, they have, you know, I've got a clear picture of what Jawa culture is like now on the basis of playing with you. So, you know, great. I love the epilogue scene. Oh, Walter, there were a couple of times, I think, when you thought, do I go with the mechanically sensible thing, or do I lean into the story? And what I love is every time I play with you and you're faced with that, you lean into the story. You know, you could have done other things. You could have bargained with the Ratataki girl, but no, you had committed and you went on with it. So yeah, no, that was just joy. I just loved that. And the death scene was tremendous. And do you know, I was really pleased that you offered me a deal at the end, because it allowed me to twist the knife. And if you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have said a word. We'd have let Galen lie, and you could, but you tried to get a deal. Couldn't resist it. So yeah, and Rich, I just, you know, sorry, retrospective, do need to add a rose to Sabine, because I think that she, as you said, I think in play, she set the ball rolling down the hill to this almost inevitable conclusion. So credit for that. And you just, you know, you just allowed us to pick up the ball and run with it. So thanks for that.
Yes, I allowed really good players to play and occasionally said, I think we hit a move. And then you guys like spit off to more crazy awesomeness. I love that. Stephen, did you have any roses you'd like to hand out, sir?
Yeah. So I have to admit that, you know, the Jawa influencing clan I took from someone else at a convention. There's a guy I've been playing with for a long time, and he started a Jawa game, and it really got me interested. So that's where a lot of that came from. I have to say that. So I'm glad the disease is spreading. But I have to say that it feels, in a good way, like I was just in a fist fight. You know, the punches kept coming from one direction or another of, oh, now Galen's dead, and suddenly, and now I'm arrested, and now Dalvoka's going to take over the criminal family. And it was like, these are such fantastic story pieces that, you know, fit really well. It was, you know, the punches just kept rolling. And I want to say, I think I said this last time, but Rich, you know, putting Cartel together with Star Wars, it looks like it took some work to put all of this stuff together, but I think that you set things up so that amazing things can happen. And I think you'll have a really good time at Origins with this, with people. And I love the fact, Alan, that you took over that you started in the direction of being the new crime boss. And Walter, I like how, you know, you played Lahalia as just ruthless and, you know, single-minded, and the family attention that, I mean, I hadn't noticed until you said something, but we didn't have any real interaction. However, we were pivotal in each other's lives, and it fit so well. Um, and I especially like your epilogue scene where, you know, it was a heart punch to the audience. You know, they just watched this brother and sister die in horrible ways due to the horrible events and you know, the horrible dirty streets. And, you know, then you go back to them as children and made them care for them even more. So it was great.
Yes, I agree. Brilliant. I have a couple of roses to hand out that I haven't already. I just want to say, Stephen, the bit of like, I want to take a little narrative authority and set this thing up. That this entire session pivoted on that. That was such a crucial moment, and it was so great, so sharp. I love that I can trust your instincts. So like, what is he doing? Oh, this is terrible. This is such a bad idea. This is gonna be good. This is like true romance. It's like the best moment ever, and you made it happen. You know, I just said yes. That's all I did. That was my genius. Thank you so much, Stephen. And Alan, the move of like, I think I know who this needs to be, that I had Z say, well, we got to have some, you know, like, I want to know who's next. And you were like, no, we can't, you must answer this. And then you're like, I'm going to answer this. That was really cool. And Walter, your moments of like, I have to go for the super violence and I'm going to lead this and I'm going to push this, even knowing like this is not Apocalypse World, right? In Apocalypse World, you can get shot 3 or 4 times before you're really hosed. In this game, like, it is scary. You fail one of those rolls, you are dead. And that was awesome. And then the moment of like, I've got it. And I'll be honest with you, like when you rolled a 10 and I'm like, getting no harm, I was a little like, damn it, rules. Like, how do I have a shatter gun go off and no, you're interfering. Thank you. Yes, cheer. Yes, yes. And I felt so not impartial at that moment. And there was so much guilt in me that I was delighted by that moment. But hot damn, I was like, that is such a great use of the interfere. And I wanted that to be painful. I didn't want a team to win, but I wanted a scar. And I'm like, well, you rolled a 10. It is what it is, right? And I was going to roll with that, but we got to have it be bloody and messy and beginning of the end for the Holly. And I'm glad that you were okay with it, Walter, because I was like, yes, that is so perfect. These mechanics really drove play. And that's something I love about story games, you know, is the story games that are specifically fine-tuned to tell certain kinds of stories that are intelligently designed like this are a joy to play when everybody is on board with it and not trying to fight with the system. You know, sometimes I play Monster Hearts and I want to play a nice guy, and the mechanics don't support that. And often I'm working at odds with the game and the expectations of the other players, and that's why I don't seek out Monster Hearts anymore, is that I'm just not the right person for that unless I'm in a certain mood. And you guys all came in with the best possible spirit towards playing Cartel the way that it was designed to be played. I just really applaud that for you guys. So thank you all so much. This has been a splendid 2-shot and with a great cast of characters and great players. So thank you all. And you have a good afternoon or evening, as the case may be.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
everyone.
much.